Hi, everyone. This is Rita Denoyer Garcia um, from Becoming Awake and the Calm Mom Alliance. And today we're doing a workshop called Unwrap Peace Busy Mom. And the whole idea of this workshop is for you to leave with a tool that's really going to help you, a three-step process that's really going to help you to have your holidays go so much better than they usually do. So we're going to be looking at how holidays usually go for you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and how my life has changed using these tools. I'm going to show you one of many tools, and then we're going to talk about how you can expand this for your whole holiday so that you can have a holiday that is more loving and relaxing and fun and easy instead of what it is when you don't do any of this. So what I'm going to ask you to do just to make this a lot more fun, because I'm totally into fun. If you had fun, you won, is to, if you have a question or a comment, and I encourage questions and comments to put them in the chat, and I will be addressing those as I go. And then of course, at the end, if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. And if I can't, we can set up another time to talk in more detail if you need that. All right, sounds good. Okay, so I have a couple questions right away for everyone to think about as you go through this hour. And the first question I have for you is, what brought you here today? What brought you here besides your computer and your Zoom connection? Why'd you show up? So write the answer to that. You don't have to say your answer, but just for your own benefit, what brought you here today? And then what do you want to get out of this time together? What are you looking for? And how will you know that you got what you came for? And once again, the reason I ask these questions is that, we accept invitations all the time and we go, we don't know quite why we're there. And then we leave going, I don't know what the heck that was. I don't know if I got anything out of it. So this is to like really help focus your intention on why are you here? What do you want to focus on? What do you want to get out of this? And how will you know that you got what you came for? And especially at the end, if you feel like there were questions that went unanswered or you're still confused about something, then I'm available here to help you with that. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to be talking a little about why people usually come to these kinds of workshops, because obviously their holidays are not going the way they want them to go, or holidays bring up a lot of unhappy or things that are not fun for you. But one of the things I want you to do is I just want you to close your eyes and I want you to visualize how the holidays usually go for you or how they went last year. And I'm going to go over some maybe ones that may hit on this or not. And the first scenario is a lot of times people come because they just dread all the tasks and obligations, all the errands that come up with the holiday. You're already busy enough, you're doing all your usual stuff, and then there's another layer of stuff. It could be gift, getting, it could be expenses, extra expenses. It could be all the invitations that you get, or maybe hosting. Maybe you do a lot of hosting. Maybe it's all the food that you feel like you have to make. There's burden with that if you're not excited about it, right? It's all what your relationship to it. So that's sort of scenario number one. Scenario number two is you may be feeling chronically exhausted to begin with, and then you go into the holidays, and now the expectation is you have to get your energy together to be with others and slap a smile on your face. when frankly, you'd rather be alone. You'd rather just have some space, depending on where you live, like a little fireplace, some music going, or maybe you'd rather watch a movie or just have a good cry. But the holidays bring up, like, oh, you have to be with other people and you have to be happy and jolly. And if you're not, then you're, you know, not greeted very well. Or maybe holidays are not a happy time for you because there's a lot of loss. Maybe it brings up anniversaries of people that you've lost over the years. And then the third scenario is maybe you used to love the holidays when you were a kid and they were really magical to you. And then you became an adult and you realized that magic doesn't happen out of anywhere. You have to create it for your family. And so you have all of that weight of, I got to make this magical for everybody. Forget me. I got to make this amazing for my kids or else. So my question to you is, do any of these resonate with you? And you can put in the chat one, two, or three. Or maybe there's other things that come up for you and you can put just a word or two of what comes up for you when you think about the holiday season. Fast paced. Okay, yeah. Sometimes you just show up divine, just divine timing. Overwhelming. Yes, for sure. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. So now you know where you are when you think about the holidays, and we're going to go to bring you to a different place so that you leave here being in a different place. I'm going to tell you my story a little bit. So, once again, my name is Rita. And I was definitely someone who loved the holidays when I was little. It was very much magical for me. My parents did a great job in terms of all of the bells and whistles and the presents and the gatherings and the food and the whole thing. It was very, and we had a lot of people around. It was great. I loved it. But then I started having my own kids and I started to see the backstage of that, which is lack of sleep, a lot of worry about getting the right thing. And I also married someone from a completely different culture than from me. So we did a lot of traveling to Mexico, which has obviously Mexico has a lot of the same traditions that I grew up with, but just a different flavor, different expectations, much more like we do things together, very family oriented. There's a lot of gifts, there's a lot of expectations, there's a lot of different foods. And then I was bringing all of my kids on planes going places. So we were going four plane rides over a very condensed amount of time, visiting my family, my husband's family, just a lot of activity. And I felt like Ginger Rogers, if you know that reference, Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. They were a great dance couple, and Ginger Rogers was doing the exact same thing that Fred Astaire was doing, but backwards and in heels, right? So she's doing everything he's doing, but backwards and in heels. So, in other words, I felt like I was doing everything my husband was doing, but it felt like another degree of difficulty for me. And it went from excitement to dread. I just felt very pressured. The language was also an issue, or my Spanish was never great. And every year they would say, "Hey, Rita, how's your Spanish?" And it always felt like I'm not up to speed. I'm not doing enough. I'm messing this up. I'm making them speak English to me, which is a burden to them. There was a lot of head trash going on there. And it just made the whole thing unpleasant, to say the least. And then I started working with a coach, and he really helped me turn around what I was doing. And he gave me this three-step process that I've tweaked over the years to make my own. And it made a huge difference in my life. So, what happened to me was um, In a nutshell, I decided to do this process over and over again, even though we were traveling. And what I noticed is that everything that became pressure and dread then turned into just being present, just being there and observing. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to react. I'm just there. And I'm giving myself what I need in the moment. And I tell you, the difference was night and day. It was a huge change maker, a game changer, excuse me, to the point where I remember landing in Mexico City one Christmas Eve, and it was my husband and I and our three kids, and my in-laws said, "How was your flight?" And at the same time, my husband and I answered, and he answered, "It was horrible," and I answered, "It was amazing." And we both looked at each other and went, "What? What world are you living in?" And what I realized is that I had created a world that was amazing. That was amazing. To the point where I didn't know that we were stuck on the tarmac for an hour and a half. I just didn't notice. I didn't notice the kid screaming in the back because I was focused on my kid who was having a good time and I was completely present with her. I didn't notice what the other two kids were doing across the aisle with my husband because I was just focusing on being present. So, in other words, what I want to show you, this three-step process, is can be a game changer and it can literally help you create a whole new world for you so that when you walk through the holidays, you're walking in your little happy world that also is going to affect the people around you. It's going to change them in some way. Either they're going to respond differently to you, you're going to respond differently to them, or you're just going to see them in a different light, which is, to me, game changer. Okay, so let's do this exercise. Is everyone ready for this exercise, this three-step process? Okay. So get out your pen and paper. And the first thing we're going to do is I want you to think about something, just one thing that you'd like to change about the holiday season. It has to be something that you have some control over. So it's not like um, Christmas is canceled or something, you know. It's what would it be? And you may have a bunch of things, by the way, but I want you, for this, the sake of this exercise, just pick one. Because this exercise, this process, you're going to apply multiple times. It's not a one and done. So what doesn't work in this scenario that we're talking about? And how would you like it to be? And in the chat, you can put it's whether it's a relationship, whether it's about maybe food, what you're eating or drinking. It could be about gifts. It could be about travel, whatever it is. So what's not working and how would you like it to be? So the next question I want you to ask yourself is, how does this make you feel? How do you feel when you think about this scenario or this relationship or this situation?
Can you slow down real quick? Rita, what was the
Sure,
second
thank you.
question?
Thank you. Yes, if I need to slow down, absolutely.
What was the second question?
So, what doesn't work and how would you like it to be? And then how does it make you feel? So someone writes, I feel like I need to be present for all the gatherings. Yes, that is that's a belief that comes up a lot. And someone is saying avoiding last minute gift purchasing. Okay, so that's the thing that you want to change. So how does that make you feel? Is it pressured? Is it afraid? Is it frustrated? Is it resentful? Super anxious. Yes. Yes. Less stress. Yeah. More present. Overwhelming. Yes. Resentful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So after you ask yourself, how does it make you feel? I want you to ask yourself, have you ever changed it before? Have you ever attempted to fix this or change this? And if so, what happened? And are you even concerned about what would happen if you did change it? Like sometimes we have both sides of the equation. We don't like it the way it is, but we also have some trepidations about changing it. Like if one person is, I really don't want to be present for all the gatherings and I want to change that, but there may be a part of, but if I'm not present for all the gatherings, then I'll miss something, or someone will be ticked off at me, or there'll be pushback, or I'll lose my friend, or I'll lose X, Y, and Z.
Rita, what was the third question?
So, what hasn't worked, and how would you like it to be? How does it make you feel? How have you ever attempted to change this before? And if so, what happened? And then, are you worried about actually changing it? What comes up when you think about changing it? Maybe you got pushback. Maybe you missed out on something. Or, yes, I have changed it and it works some of the time, but it didn't work all the time. That's another one, right? Struggling around money. Yes. Yes, some people were upset because you didn't accept the invitation. Yeah. How are we with this so far? Is everyone keeping up? Yes, if you're empathic, this I would not be surprised if all the people who showed up at this have are empathic people who are very concerned with people being upset with them, people being disappointed. Yeah, that's what drives the engine of obligation. Okay, so there's a lot of questions. That's just part one. All right. So the next step is I want you to connect with the feelings that come up when you are in this situation and also when you've attempted to change it, maybe the pushback. Just allow yourself to feel those emotions. And I want you to notice the sensations in your body when you feel those emotions and put your hand where you feel it the most in your body. So if you're feeling stressed, I just want you to feel that sensation in your body, that energy. It's just energy. Maybe your heart's beating a lot. Maybe you feel some tension or restriction somewhere. Just be with it. And you can even say stress or fear or pressure is allowed to be here in my body. And as you're feeling this sensation, I want you to visualize that you're being with your best friend who's having this experience. In other words, you're feeling it. And at the same time, you're like with your beloved who's feeling it. And you're having compassion for this person called you. Some of us have a hard time with that. So if you visualize maybe a puppy or your kid or whoever you feel like you can have a lot of compassion for, visualize that person is having this feeling of stress or overwhelm. Because he's got this whole story that they're trying to deal with. And you can even say to yourself, I'm so sorry that you're suffering with this stress, this overwhelm, this pressure, this fear. And you can take some breaths. If you feel tears coming up, let them flow. Whatever's coming up, maybe you need to move your body or breathe. And then ask yourself, what do you need right now? What do I need right now? You may not know it. You may not know, you may not have an answer for that, but if you do, just see what comes up. And it could be, I just need this space to have this feeling. Or it could be, I really need a break. Or I need some understanding. Whatever it is, I want you to visualize giving that to yourself. It could be a hug. It could be, I just want someone to understand where I'm coming from. So what do I need right now? And then whatever comes up and whatever you're able to give yourself, write down anything that comes up. Make some notes. Things that you don't want to forget, something that surprised you, something that's a good reminder. And see if you can, if what bubbles up in terms of ideas of how you can work with whatever the situation is in a different way. And it could be, wow, I feel so pressured to go to all these events. And maybe I just need to be with myself and ask myself what I need before I accept any invitations and really feel into it, what's right for me. Whether you've tried to change this in the past or not, just ask yourself, how can I support myself through this? Like really support myself and be compassionate with myself around this. In fact, how could I make the holidays less about trying to make everyone else happy and more about connecting with myself so that I'm happy. And then I get to share that with everyone else. That's my gift to them. Me at my happiest. Through giving myself what I need, having compassion for myself, planning in a way that supports me, being selective with what I commit to and don't commit to, so I can show up for my spouse or my kids or my family, for my pets, whoever it is that you want to show up for myself in the best possible way. And write in the chat what came up for you. It could be, oh, this is easier than I thought, or I didn't understand anything about this exercise, I'm completely confused. Or, oh, I could make the holidays about me being more connected to myself. I hold the power. Yes, yes, you do. I'm thinking of that disco favorite. I have the power. I am the creator of my own reality. I get to choose. Absolutely. And here's the thing, we don't choose how other people react, but we can choose how we react to their reactions. In other words, what happens with them is their story. Our response to that is our story. And that's all we have control over. That's it, is our half of it. Which is really hard for a lot of empathic people, because as empathic people, we feel so much of what everyone else is feeling. We think we're responsible for it, and we're not. Yes. So there was a comment, I persist because I believe it eventually come together. However, I feel disoriented. Yes, sometimes it's really hard for us to connect with the idea that you're powerful and beautiful and all those amazing things. And that's why I think this tool will help you get there. Because it's not about believing everyone else's stuff about you. It's about you connecting with you. Yes, I can repeat that. So what people do outside of you is comes from their story and their story alone. It's their lens that they're looking through to reality, to that shapes their reality. So whatever they're doing, even if it seems directed at you, is their story about you, for instance, right? However, by the same token, how you respond to that, how you interpret that, and what you do and think about it is your story. It's your story about them and their stuff. The only thing you can control, you can't control other people's stories or what they think of you or what they do or say, but you can control how you respond to that. Okay, I love your thumbs up. Okay, excellent. A great shortcut for that is Don Miguel Ruiz's work, The Four Agreements. And the first agreement is don't take anything personally. Nothing. It's never personal. Even if they say you this and you, it's that's their world. Awesome. It's a hard one for people who are empathic. It's a challenge because we often interpret other people's energy as ours, our responsibility, our fault, fill in the blank. The name of the book is The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's not Don like Donald. It's like Don like Mr. That's a bad translation, but okay, so how was this exercise? What did you get out of it? Was it helpful? Did you learn something? Are you confused? Just put it in the chat. Awesome, helpful. I loved it. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Okay. So here's the thing and why this is important. If you could take an exercise like this and apply it to whatever it is that's going through the holidays, how would your holidays be different? So, and this is just one exercise. It's just one exercise. This is one tool in the tool belt. It would be super helpful. Yes. Yeah. And by the way, as you do this exercise over and over, it gets more and more less and less time consuming. In other words, we took what, 15, 20 minutes to do this exercise because this is the first time you did it, right? But as you get good at it, you'll be in a situation and you'll be like, I have to go to the bathroom because no one argues with going to the bathroom, right? No one has ever said, wait, where are you going? You go, I'm going to the bathroom. So you go to the bathroom, you close the door, and you just do this exercise like, okay, what's going on here? How am I feeling about it? Where is it in my body? Can I have compassion for myself? What do I need? And then what comes up? And then you leave the bathroom. And then you're able to respond. Imagine if you could do that in a situation where, like, Uncle Fred starts bringing up politics, or your crazy Aunt Agnes starts complaining about the mashed potatoes, or whatever it is that sets you off. Imagine if you had a tool that you could just go off and clear yourself and then able to respond differently, or just walk out of the room, or whatever needs to happen. That'd be a game changer, right? It would change the course of your holidays. But here's the thing. Right now, you kind of like, this is like yoga class, and I just taught you one pose. I taught you downward dog, and you're like, hey, downward dog's pretty cool. Like, I like downward dog. You're like, yeah, you could do this all day long. But imagine if you had a whole bunch of different poses that you could do for different things. Like, hey, downward dog's great, but I want something that's going to open my hips, for instance, right? So I want to tell you about, there's other tools out there that you can use, that you can pick and choose as you need for whatever happens during your holidays. So if I may, I'm going to be telling you about other things that you can do. You could take this and just go with it and it would be great. But I'm telling you, a lot of people don't do that. They leave this whole situation. They go, that was interesting. I got something out of that. Maybe they even talk about it with someone, but then they put it on a bookshelf, put it away, and they never use it. So I just want to tell you about an opportunity that you could have to really implement not just this tool and practice it over and over, but many other tools and get support. So if I may, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Let's see, where am I? Okay. Can everyone see this? Okay. So what I'm proposing to you is, this is not just the one pose, the one tool. This is the toolbox. This is the yoga series, if you will. This is the heart opener and the hip opener um, and the Ginsu knife that's a core and a chopping thing. You know, I'm trying to use different analogies here, but this is what you get if you give yourself a present that's going to last you through the holidays. So it's also called Unwrap Peace, and it's all about less pressure, more joy. So in this course, you get we meet for at least 6 weeks. So you have 6 group sessions where you're not going to just practice this one tool over and over again, because it does need practice and repetition. But I'm going to be teaching you other tools that help you release emotion, tools that help you be more grounded, tools of how you approach a difficult conversation where maybe someone's pushing back against you, or someone doesn't like that you're acting differently now. Who the heck do you think you are for not accepting this invitation? Whatever it is. And during this 6 weeks, you're also going to get continuous group support. I really feel that, especially as women, we need each other. We need support. You need your posse. And one of the reasons that we need that is because we're so prone to kind of forget why we're doing what we're doing. And we get very influenced by this pressure around us. And when you have a group of women who are on the same mission together and supporting each other, something really magical happens. You realize that you're not alone. You're not crazy. You get reminded of things that you kind of know, but you forgot in the moment. You feel supported. You feel confident. And this is, the holiday season is a season. It goes on for weeks and weeks. So it's very easy to like start off really strong, and then all of a sudden you're in the waves again and tossing and turning. And to have that group, to have that weekly meeting and then have that group support makes all the difference. The other thing that's part of this program is a private laser coaching session, which is a 30-minute session where we get granular. We get into what specific things are you being challenged by, what are you being triggered by, what you need to remember, because everyone's got different stuff. For some, it's the gift giving. For some, it's the money. For some of it's the obligations. For some, it's the, overextending yourself. For some, it's the relatives. For some, it's loss, or it could be a whole combination of those things. So the laser coaching session is really helpful. And then I threw in 2 bonuses. I'm so excited about these bonuses because they involve my colleagues. One is an EFT session bonus. It's not just it's above and beyond the 6 weeks. It's a 30-minute EFT session. And if you don't know what EFT is, it's tapping, it's emotional freedom technique. It's a great and powerful tool that this particular woman, Tammy, is an expert at. She's really good. And she works specifically with highly sensitive people. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted her to be included. And if you haven't done it ever, or you've done it a couple times, I promise you're going to get something out of this. She has committed to working with the group on this EFT session. And if you're one of the first people to sign up, you're gonna be in the hot seat. So you're gonna get to work with her and have the group watch while everyone else is tapping. She's gonna be tapping specifically for what you want to work on. And for me, I've done tapping with different people, and I find her to be one of the more effective practitioners who does this. And then the other bonus session is all going to be about holiday food. And my friend Elizabeth, who is an expert in nutrition, and eating well during the holidays, because I don't know about you, but I have often fell into the dilemma of, oh God, we're surrounded by cakes and cookies, what do I do? Or I want to eat something, I'm on a different meal plan than everyone else. Now, am I a party pooper for bringing my own food? How do I negotiate this and navigate this? Or how do I make food that everyone likes that I'm not necessarily eating? Or it could be around alcohol, right? This is like, the holiday time is one of the biggest times that people drink, right? And they do things that aren't necessarily supportive to them. So how do I negotiate that and navigate through that without overdoing it or waking up regretting things or getting into fights because everyone's drinking around the table, or being someone who's sober with people who are still drinking? How do I navigate through that? So those are 2 bonus sessions besides the 6 weeks. I'm so excited that they are volunteered to do this. You're going to love that. So it's the 6 weekly sessions, continuous group work, private laser coaching sessions. Whoop, Danielle got kicked out. And then the bonus EFT and the holiday food sessions. Okay. Oops. Next slide. Okay. So this all starts November 1st, which is a week from today. Same bat time, same bat channel. So it's 12 Eastern time, 1 hour. And we go for 6 weeks. We're going to miss the 1 week where we're not meeting is the week of Thanksgiving because it's the day before Thanksgiving. And I don't want to add another pressure thing to your schedule the day before Thanksgiving. So we'll skip that week, but we're going to be in connection. And like I said, if you're the first to sign up, you get to be the star if you want to be of that EFT session. And this is an investment of $500. So which is a steal, really, because if you actually worked with me one-on-one for 6 weeks, it would cost you $900, just that. But you get the group and you get the EFT session and the holiday food session. And I want you to think about this as this is your holiday gift for you. This is your time to invest in yourself, to have a different holiday season, and also it's going to help your family. If you've ever heard the expression, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, this is a true thing. When I was not happy, my kids were not happy. So I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second. I'm gonna put the link to the sales page in the chat. So if you want to click on it and take a look at it and save it so you can look at that. But I just wanted to say, so any questions about anything that I described real quickly? Just let me know your questions. And then we're going to do one more exercise and then we'll wrap it up. Okay. So here's the exercise we're going to do. I want you to return to how you were feeling when we first started. Just close your eyes. And I want you to imagine how the holidays usually go. And if you decided to not do anything about it, if you decided like you never came to this and you're just, those are the holidays and the way they are with all the things that you don't like. And how are you interacting with people? How stressed out are you? How are your kids feeling? How are the people that you really love feeling about how you are during the holidays? Are people stressed? Are they afraid to approach you? Are they just staying away? Okay, so you have that in your mind. So now we're going to transition to what would happen if you actually use this tool and all the other tools in the toolkit for the next 6 weeks, and you had complete support from a group where everyone wants a different holiday and everyone's supporting each other. And you could have this really great session where you talk about exactly where you are and where you want to be. And you had help with navigating through all the food and drink stuff. And you were able to do the tapping and every other tool that you're going to learn, because you're going to learn several. What would the holidays be like if you had all of that? Would you feel lighter? Would you feel calmer? Would you have more fun? Would you play more? Would you rest more? And how would your kids feel? Or your spouse? Or your extended family? Or your friends? What would they be feeling? What would they be saying? Wow, you seem really relaxed. Wow, how did you do that? What are you doing differently? Or the classic, I'll have what she's having. Wow, what is going on? But I want to see what she's doing. What would that be like? You could just put one thing in the chat. What's the before and what's the after? And what would the rest of the year be like? Because I feel like the holiday season, yeah, insanity before, peace after. Yes, I would allow myself more guilt-free rest. Oh my gosh, amen to that. Because remember, the holiday season is kind of like the New York of the year. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. If you can get through the holiday season feeling more rested, more joyful, more connected, you can do it anytime. You can handle anything. Any other questions or concerns? And if everyone could put in the chat one thing that they got from today, and look at those answers to those questions. Did you get what you came for? And if not, please ask. See if I can answer any questions that you have. Clarification, awesome. Great. Super insightful. Love this tool and practice. Yes, please practice. Helpful workshop. Great. Excellent. Did everyone get what they came for? Yes, you can better understand your wife and your mom. Yes. Then you can be a support to them and an ally to them. Awesome. Share that link. Yes. Yeah, because it's not just about you. It helps everyone else when you're feeling good. That was something that I finally realized after many years. I am the hub of the wheel, whether I like it or not. And it not only that my mood affects everyone else, but my response is different when I'm feeling good and I'm feeling full and I'm feeling satisfied and I'm feeling grounded. I can be the person I want to be. Yes, the 4 agreements. That's a great one to review. If you get one agreement, if you get one agreement under your belt, you're doing really well. Awesome. Yes. Okay, so I promised we'd be out of here by 1 or by the top of the hour. We have 6 minutes left. Are there any final questions before we wrap this up? If you have any questions, you can always email me. Does everyone have my email? I'll put it in the chat. No problem if you gotta go. If you want this to look at the program, just click on the link. I'll put it again. Take a look at it. You have until November 1st, which is when we start. It's gonna be amazing, guys. I am so excited about this for people to have a different holiday. Everyone deserves it. It's been a big year. We all deserve peace and love and rest and connection. That's what the holiday season is supposed to be about.
Rita, do you ever like we ever purchase like any of your past webinars that you've done? Like if you recorded them and if we wanted to get like some training on something in the past that you've done before?
That's a good question. I have some old workshops. Let me dig around there.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I can talk about it.
Okay.
If you want to do that. Like if you're like, I don't want to go to a big program or whatever, you and I can talk about it. I don't know if I
Mm-hmm.
have anything on hand, but you and I can talk and we can figure out what exactly you're looking for. We'll figure it out.
Okay. That
Yeah.
sounds great. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any last thoughts before we say goodbye to each other or see you later? All right, guys, I really appreciate your time. I'm thrilled that you got something out of this exercise. Um, I would love all of you to be in the program if you want to be, to get that extra support, group support, and all of those exercises. Because, like I said, one pose is not going to get you through the holiday, but this will help you a lot. Okay, so have a great day, guys. And I look forward to talking to you again, and I'll send you the recording if you want to share it with anybody. Thank you so much for participating and spending your time with me.
Thank you, Rita.
Bye.
Bye.